Instead of entertainment, you pay them for a lecture. DEI gum job guy, pop out your dentures. Gotcha got me springing like a gadget inspector. Beauty unashamed, Greco-Roman architecture. Speaking on behalf of the people who been here before. These are kind of niggas who telling you who to vote for. Dirt poor, backdoor crack whore with cold sores. Not even a sophomore crying about a woke war. Shell cracked Kyle Shaka when the walls fell. Make a bald nose ring witch yell another spell. That's not a verse, it's Jamaican cantation. I break the curse, get you off the plantation. Wanna be women throwing a tantrum, jealousy. Pronoun throw down over Hogwarts legacy. No way Jose Osei, can you see? Jiggle free transandrogyny, not for me. Noticers didn't kill DEI. Human bot fly lie, uglify from your pigsty. PlayStation leak your information and accept bribes. That's why tribe reject accounts and subscribe. Inside, can you feel that fire? Fire. Hello, beta testers. Like and subscribe to push this in the algorithm to the lost. As of late, legacy media shills are ramping up the lies to try for the attention of people whose audiences they're suddenly jealous of. What's insane is my audience is frequently regarded as nothing by the tourists who are desperately trying to destroy the industry, so to see them admit that they're desperate for you is hilarious. Surely these posers are aware that their own audiences are leaving and effortlessly finding the smash JTs they hate so much because they actually address the news that these puppets avoid. In a podcast, these losers had no issue telling their audience to get over their choice and vote for who they choose because they know better. If you have the time to frequently allow your feelings to get the best of you because of whatever clout, jealousy, lost election, or dreidel Mr. Dunk on Chuds is smoking, I'll make extra time to entertain and remind people that gaming is more than what the hormonal, unpopular minority believes it to be. But I hope these loudmouth activists continue to Rachel Zegler and destroy the jobs of people around them faster because narcissism. With respect to your time, the criteria for this list factors in the change that I believe will occur in the industry following reaction to these titles. Nintendo is freaking out because of the reaction to Palworld. Palworld is what I always wanted Pokemon to be. I believe Inzo will be what people wanted The Sims to be. I believe Path of Exile 2 will be what Diablo should have been. Comment what you feel I should have included, and I might take some of the answers and include it in an upcoming list. I'm confident in you knowing what you like or don't like, so I'm going to skip to talking about the game instead of how it works. This video is sponsored by you, but more so if you press that join button. Number 10. Azour Promelia. 2 weeks ago, Azour Promelia was raided in Taiwan, which means news is imminent, so I've made it the first entry. For the unaware, permit me a normie explanation in saying it's Pokemon meets Genshin on the surface, but it's by Azur Lane developers, so it's more cultured. Believe it or not, there was already controversy surrounding the game over a hoax that led people to believe that there were men in the game, and that caused outrage loud enough to prompt an apology in response to backlash that led to review bombings of the game. But it took the devs mere hours to correct this misinformation, and I appreciate that dedication in recognizing what players want and them committing to that. It's important most of you learn to discern ops from reality, because the coordination of gaming communities over there can sabotage whole game releases with a few phone calls or fake posts. It's genuine cyber warfare, and I don't know if anybody's up to participating in what's clearly like an online ongoing anime drama, just because, you know, the game, it's reaching Helldivers controversy level every other week. It's a waifu game and a pocket monster game, so I'm eager to critique and frankly tear apart the designs of this thing when it comes out. If it surprises, since I know it will be well funded, I can't wait to see how the industry grows and learns, or how it sloppily tries to steal from successes. But to be frank, beta tester, some of you are the game developers now, and I suggest you get into the habit of trying some ingredients because your taste might be able to make a better combination or recipe that people can't resist. Or you can just take it and call it a flaming mo, why not? Azour Promelia was just rated, so you should be hearing about it any day now. Latest Keeley's Woke Award Show. Number 9, Project Witches. This is the next game from Shift Up, who made the dazzling and beautiful Stellar Blade, who happens to have an upcoming crossover event with 2B from Nier. And Nier was already in a mobile game that Shift Up lovingly tends to and rakes in millions from, called Nike Goddess of Victory. A recent Ubisoft DEI design was so ugly that it inspired me to make a new collage. Everybody was passing that around going, look how ugly this bitch is, next to a game that allows a person to look like a female. In Eastern games, she looks feminine, the way everybody likes, the way that people would pay for, but in the woke Western modern audience style, she's like a he. She looked like a man. When you see these shoulders, you think unfair biological advantage and shouldn't be allowed to compete in a woman's sport. Well, we're thinking linebacker, you know. I recently jumped into Nike Goddess of Victory, and I think it's my favorite among the few gachas that I tried. Well-written story, wonderful attention to detail, chef's kiss jiggle, and the guys and girls have shown me that they can't get enough. And I'm proud of what Shift Up CEO has achieved in the face of scrutiny from woke entities telling lies to further their political agenda in the gaming space. Through Stellar Blade and Wukong, Hogwarts Legacy even, media killed whatever remaining credibility some of them could pretend to have. But I couldn't be more eager to see what the Witches project has in store. Having been genuinely shocked by some of the love Shift Up has baked into the characters, worlds, and industry they respected enough to make a single-player game when the millions Goddess of Victory raked in made it a pointless endeavor. But in doing so, they have ignited a fire that could roar into a passion among developers who might have never pursued gaming in these avenues. Beta testers, you choose who replaces these narcissistic player haters that want to create controversy where there is none to protect their woke grift. Like this video and we can help each other find the replacements if you haven't found them already. Shift Up will reveal its new project early next year. Number 8, Path of Exile 2. I mentioned I see this as what Diablo should have been, and I'm eager to properly play this and share it with anybody who wants to jump in. Developers people have faith in are hard to come by these days, so credit where credit is due. I see they're making it so that people who bought cosmetics in the first iteration of the game can see those cosmetics moved into the second one, and it's exactly the kind of thing we need to see more and celebrate in the industry. There's some things they've baked into this game that have my attention, and I can't really say I understand why, but I'll be there when Path of Exile 2 is due out in early December the 6th for $30 in early access. Number 7, Crimson Desert. When I first saw Doke V, I wanted more so bad, and this was before Pal World, and I learned quickly that until Pearl Abyss's other project, Crimson Desert, came out, development would effectively freeze. I didn't expect to end up loving what I saw of Crimson Desert, and I think it's at a glance something that guys have missed and are waiting for. It looks polished, new, and like everything I'd want out of a game like this. Pearl Abyss's custom jiggle physics waifu game Black Desert Online has raked in millions and is clearly funding projects like Crimson Desert and Doke V moving into the future, in the same way that Nike Goddess of Victory is funding Shift Up Stellar Blade and other projects moving into the future. You could say Honkai Impact collected millions to fund MiHoYo's pursuits with Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero, in the same way that Azur Lane raked in millions to fund Azour Promelia. So thank God for Eastern developers with their heads screwed screwed on, recognizing that if they actually serve the customer, they'll have millions with which to call their own shots and make some moves if that's what they choose to do. As I said last episode, that is 3 Apocalypse Horsemen unfazed on the gaming fucking stage that MiHoYo has. America let the unpopular minority pussify gaming and force ugly, manly physiques and looks onto women because that's how insecure some of the developers were. Great job, modern audience games. Keep flying too close to the Bud Light and burn. Got a little sidetracked, but if you testers F around and make me popular, I'll tell you the truth about the scariest group in gaming, and it's not Nintendo fans, not anymore. It's the waifu savorers and otakus that Genshin has not only managed to serve, but routinely satisfy. I say all this to say, the East is intelligent enough not to dismiss or fight the player base that is vocal in what they want. They may understand that giving up more upfront to establish good faith can go a long way in securing a community. Crimson Desert has put out so many boss fights and videos that if it were a game over here, it would probably be more bosses than the game already contains. I think you get what I'm trying to get at. Number 6, Mecha Break. I was delighted during my time with Mecha Break and didn't expect to love the gameplay as much as I did, but I can't imagine how much more fun this will be with friends. Jiggle physics waifus demonstrate an awareness of the market, and as I hope time will tell, this game is clearly gonna scratch some itches. I played a no monetization enabled build of the game, so it's tricky to see how these things will affect gameplay or whether they take a pay to skip or pay to win approach. We'll just have to wait and see. Mecha Break is a mech game that effortlessly nails fun, and if it sticks the landing, I'm eager to see what comes next. You should be hearing more about Mecha Break soon. Number 5, Inzo. The only thing I'll say about Inzo is thank God it's not the explosively woke DEI specialist cringe that not only restricts progress in favor of woke, but restricts progress in favor of greed so that they can nickel and dime players with pricey DLC. The girls I know who love The Sims know Wicked Whims quite well, and other mods because their ideal version of a Sims world is closer to a brutal romance novel or a true crime story, cannibal, you name it. It's like a RimWorld game, man. But the truth is, they recognize a fictional simulation, a digital game, and unlike the developers, can handle a bit of fun. And of course they want to have big knockers that'll flop all around when those guys break in and they're like, oh my god, oh no. Inzo has fleshed out enough of its gameplay to give anyone curious a taste, and I recommend you check out some of these cozy gamers who've had hours of hands-on to get a feel for this developer. I welcome all of this and hope to see more competition with games that clearly resonate with their players. Number 4, Project Mugan. Project Mugan appears to be Genshin and Spider-Man and GTA rolled all into one, and the developers talk about procedural generation in the world and other things that might make you wonder exactly when this NetEase ass game intends to throw a playable version at people. But with all due respect, these games do not make the mistake Western slop like Concord does, thinking they can just fart out a politically correct hero shooter with ugly fat old heroes that only seem to come in alien, black, and transgender flavors, which is like buying Birdie Bot's every flavor beans and only getting earwax and, like stomach acid flavors. NetEase is so spicy right now that, as usual, the drama surrounding the games are more interesting than what's really going on, so I guess you'll catch some of that in a later entry. Number 3, the First Descendant. For those who are not aware, the First Descendant's developers have made the choice to enable jiggle physics in their game like the brave soldiers that they are. I've demonstrated for you how Fortnite goes out of its way to de-sex many of the dances by removing gyration and hip sway because that's not family friendly. So you have these mechanical, uncanny motions, these rhythms that are I don't know where to go, honestly. So if you, I'm not joking, can donate to me so that I can go buy the Freyna skin and get the footage you deserve for this channel to make amazing B-roll. Recently, First Descendant removed a tail on an outfit that was obscuring the butt for Freyna. And if there's one thing that I appreciate that earns this entry slot, it's developers who listen. Beta tester, I love you, and this feels like a checkpoint worthy of saving at as we move forward in this gaming era, a post-woke gaming era. Last of Us 2 can have ugly, roided out freak butt sex, and that's okay because it's queer centric, and Baldur's Gate can have bear sex and dick physics, and that's okay because it's queer focused. Ooh, you like that propaganda? And then the man kiss you like that. It's allowed nudity in sex scenes, but you know, if the Eastern games were to try that with a pretty woman, they're the worst thing in the world. But they're gonna keep making all that money because people like pretty women. It is harmless and it is appealing, and it should be no issue in a mature game that people are playing for. The minority of losers salty over an election loss becoming an obstacle to profit and progress are scum that I'll be 10 times more vocal about in the future. Number 2, Marvel Rivals. The game has captivated the Marvel nerds who are just happy that the characters aren't explosively ugly and that the game is fun enough to have them waste some hours with friends on. NetEase, however, employees have been caught laundering big money and have been arrested. However, if we're lucky, maybe this will manifest in bigger titties for some of the female heroes, since jiggle physics are already something in Marvel Rivals that characters like Storm benefit from. But you know what I think is that Wanda could really use something in the chest department. And yes, I've heard this from about 6 of the women who I know who've played this game, and Wanda stans are not the kind of women you want to mess with. Marvel Rivals is gearing up, and I'd rather talk less and show more, so play it for yourself for free when it comes out, and listen for upcoming announcements going towards December. From here on out, beta testers, gaming will not slow down, and even if things crash and burn, they will be failures monumental enough to watch and bask in the glow, the warmth of a fire roaring out of a dumpster, like Concord, but more Helldivers in look how you've ruined this attention and interest that people granted you. And the fun thing about appeal is that you can't fake it, you can't force it. When people don't give a damn, the numbers will reflect that. Honorary mentions go to games like Neverness to Everness, and other Genshin meets Grand Theft Auto with visual style, car modding, and you know, we'll see how fleshed out it is. There's a game called Flowtopia that seems to be like a smaller scale Animal Crossing, could be bigger scale if there's enough interest. Fortnite may actually feel threatened enough to stop dragging its feet with deathmatch modes. It's long been my desire for Fortnite to license popular first-person shooter maps and have them in free-for-all maps, deathmatch modes. Players can create maps and vote them in and out of rotation. I feel like Doom and Halo maps would be perfect for this multiverses arena garbage that they want to create. So call me an old man, but I'm saddened that the people sitting on Unreal Tournament can't keep the thrill and competition of a not too serious die and respawn action shooter alive, when there's clearly a market for that I guess you're just gonna ignore to sell digital shoes, which I wholeheartedly regard as the horse armor of the new mainstream generation. We're all human beta testers. Most of us would probably clear our schedule to go buy a lightsaber or a Batmobile to run around and game and be an idiot with, but good God. Number 1 is and could only ever be Grand Theft Auto 6. This election needed to happen. This outrage over woke and DEI strangling creativity in gaming had to happen. And there are a great number of things that I have planned to show gaming before this nightmare becomes a reality. We should be thankful because Take-Two in their brain damage claim they're worried about reviews, as in from players, when they should be worried about the scumbag legacy media activists posing as games journalists and shills who lie to sabotage games that they hate, like Hogwarts Legacy, with 1 out of 10 scores in between their dildo reviews, so they could hopefully drag down the score of what would inevitably be 2023's best seller. Make sure you're making a game for people and not these brands or activists who are posing as games journalists, and you won't have anything to worry about, because these people out here will team up and accuse Wukong of not being woke enough, citing a mistranslation as proof of sexism, and then lock their comments as they're run off of platforms because they can be fact-checked into submission. They lied about Dragon Age to try to make their woke game more successful than it was, killing their credibility as hard as they did when they freaked out over Stellar Blade, and the hypocrisy is what I hope to show you, beta tester, singing about IGN's editor-in-chief, Erwan Lafloyel. This was pre a dumpster juice opening ceremony at the French Olympics, oh oui oui. An IGN editor couldn't even apologize after multiple lies, gaslighting people in the hopes of making their insane criticism of Shift Up go away. GTA will still be a little woke, and not because a woman is included, but because of activism and political correctness, forcing boundaries that restrict innovation, creativity, resulting in a toned down, sanitized, and safe project named after a felony by a team of niggas with yee-ass haircuts. If there's one thing the routine slop has taught players, it's that the name of a studio doesn't mean anything 10 years removed. BioWare as you know it is dead. Bethesda as you know it is dead. Rocksteady as you know it is dead. 343 needed only to throw wood on a fire, but instead poured gasoline on themselves. And civil negativity should be expected in response to people making unnecessary changes to something that appeals and would appeal for generations were it not crippled by woke. I pray Rockstar reads culture's explosive desire for a return to vulgarity, to the crass attitude era, if you will, that we've had enough of a break from, that it would be a breath of fresh air. Dragon Age devs, Concord devs, and Volition devs, before they shut down, took the time to lose sales, misunderstanding what their product is and that it doesn't exist without a receptive audience. Don't Mortal Kombat this, Rockstar. Because that used to light the world on fire and is the very reason that the ESRB exists, but it too was devoured by woke, wherein gore is fine, but breasts jiggle and a woman not covering up is the end of the world. Larry Fink's BlackRock writhing ESG and DEI monster. Trillions you couldn't turn down, a fan base you no longer have. No matter what GTA does, it will influence the market, if only in inspiring Eastern developers to make a better one in a year or so. If Rockstar is dumb enough not to future-proof their game, that you want to make money for another decade, right? Because this time, there will genuinely be what gaming needs, and that's competition. Did you like my choice of entries on this list? Do you think I needed big titty beta tester pictures to spice up the video? Do you have better choices and games that you think I should feature in the future? Feature in the future. Don't, if they're AA, if they're indie, please leave all of those suggestions into the sponsors, patrons, and people pressing the join button now. I can't tell you enough how much I love you and appreciate whoever may be donating towards them pricey ass freaking First Descendant skills. But if it's jiggle physics, maybe it'll be worth it. I mean, damn. To the patrons, again, I love you. Take it easy. I'll talk to you soon. 24 minutes. What was I doing? I love you. Later.